Good evening. We'd like to welcome everyone to our Elmore County Commission work session dated Monday, December 10, 2018. We'll call this meeting to order. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize we have a lot of elected officials here tonight. We have Sheriff Bill Franklin, we have Probate Judge-elect John Thornton, we have Superintendent Richard Dennis, I think that's all, and City Councilman Greg Jones. We appreciate all of you being here. We will move forward with our special presentations. We would like to invite Sheriff Bill Franklin to come up to the podium for a presentation of certificates of excellence for volunteers.
Appreciate it, guys. Bill Wood. Come on, big man. Yours up. Come on up, bro. If we could I get Weldon? Come on up, Weldon. I promised Kim I'd be brief, but I wanted to take a minute, if we could. Back in 2014, Ricky Mann was a reserve officer of ours that died and passed away. I know several times in our lifetime, there's a lot of people we want to pay tribute to, and a lot of times we don't think about it until after they've passed away. When that happened, I thought about it. I've actually said something to Weldon a while back, a few months ago, and I wanted to take just a minute. I've got Bonnie up here, which is Ricky's widow, and Weldon, Owen, John Glasscock, and Commissioner Mac Daughtry. Be brief and say a few words about each one. I will tell you that Bonnie knows that I think in 1984, Ricky started doing some reserve work with the Elmore County Sheriff's Office, a mainstay. I'll tell you something at the end about that, but every Friday, Ricky was pretty much known to come to Chief's office and pretty much seek what he could do to try to help us through the weekend or at night. Great guy, never failed, very selfish person, not always wondering about what he could get, or he always wanted to know what he could do for us. Great guy to help out here with the Sheriff's Office and its citizens. Weldon, I'll tell you the odd thing about Weldon, where Ricky was with us for 30 years until his death, Weldon's been with us for 45 years. Weldon, when he started in 74, I was actually a junior in high school. I got to think about that. So that's how long Weldon's been here. The only thing I know that we had in common when I started trying to get with the Sheriff's Office was we both went to Wetumpka High School, and we both played football there, and I think I had Coach Darnell, you had Coach Wood, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Weldon is a lot like Ricky, always wanting to know what he could do to try to help us. It's actually helped as a sideline that his wife worked at the Board of Education, so for years the school resource officers that we've had, she's always tried to help us, and now his daughter works at DHR, and I think you're one of the mainline supervisors up there, if I'm not mistaken. John is somebody that very special to me. I want to tell you, my dad died June 10th, 1985. Very meticulous, odd individual. Did not get close to too many people. Always had a lot of good things to say about John. John, I don't mind telling you, has been like a second daddy to me ever since my dad died. Anytime I needed good counseling or professional advice, John was somebody I could lean on. I guess you could say he's been a chaplain there in the jail for the last 25 years. He hadn't quite been there as long as Weldon's 45 or Ricky's 30, but he's been with us 25 years, and I can't tell you how many times he's lent help to the county as far as keeping the fury down in the jail. Excellent guy. Counseled hundreds, probably thousands. A lot of people don't know it, but he spent his own time, money, and energy. Sometimes he would take inmates when they got out all the way, I know, a couple of times to Mobile. His wife, Betty, I know has helped several times too. And my last guy here, Mac Daughtry. Mac, I have to apologize. I know I probably called your house, I don't know how many times late at night. We either talk about a burglary or a theft or something we're trying to recover from the lake. I think it's been everything from a murder to a theft to even the, what's the guy's name in the, is it Kalaji, the tomahawk? We even went out one night trying to recover that thing. So anyway, we've been through a lot. I can tell you, Mac's just about as anal as I am about things have to be a certain way. And he's very meticulous minded, which I think goes into his work here at the commission. He does a good job here. But the last thing I want to tell you is very special about these four individuals. That's 135 years of voluntary service that these guys have given us. The thousands of calls for service or people or consultations that they've provided. We have never received a complaint on these four guys over a mass time of 45 years and never have incurred a lawsuit. And in this day and time, I know we didn't even know what video and audio was when we first started. I know you can attest to that, but we deal with a lot of that now, some of it justified, some of it not. But I and my guys here, and I'm sure if all Elmo County was here, they would tell you that we appreciate that. So if we could, I appreciate that. Lita, if you could, we wanted to, I thought about giving you a certificate of appreciation, but that is not what's in order here. This is a certificate of excellence. And we wanted to present each one of y'all a certificate of excellence. Yes, it says that this certificate of excellence presented posthumously for Rick, issued for maintaining and consistently high standards of service to the citizens of Elmo County from 1984 to 2014 and sanctioned by all members of the Elmo County Sheriff's Office, and proudly presented to Ricky Mann. And the plaque that we've got that goes along with that, it says, for your exemplary professionalism and your unwavering bravery and sacrifice in safeguarding our citizens. Elmo County Sheriff's Office, 2018. You got Lily, you got the other ones there? There you go. I don't know if any of you know these guys personally. Does anybody want to say anything? Anybody? Mac, I didn't mean to poke much fun at you there, but that's the way I feel about you. But Mac also retires from Russell Lands this Friday. We've got to go up to Russell Lands, I think, at 3:30, and those would be some mighty big shoes to fill. But I appreciate your families coming. Jamie, I appreciate you coming. And I hope I didn't take too long, but I told you I'd be out of here in about 7, 8 minutes. But I'll tell you what, yeah, have you got a picture? We could? If y'all could, let's see. Let's I appreciate that. Mac, you can get back to work.
Thank you, Sheriff Franklin, and all who participated. We are delighted to be able to be a place where such a special event can take place, and we appreciate the dedication of those fine volunteers and their families. It is a big sacrifice to do that for a long period of time, and we commend you for that. We will now invite Ms. Katrina Mitchell from the Extension Office to come up. She has, it appears, her group of fine young people from Elmore County and the Youth Leadership Elmore County Program.
Good evening. Thank y'all for having us again tonight. I'm Katrina Mitchell with the Elmore County Extension Office. I hope everybody's familiar who we are. 4-H is our youth development program, and every year I'm proud to have the opportunity to work with some of the finest young people in the county. I'd like them to stand and introduce themselves and tell us what school they go to. And it's not all of them. It's December. Several more tied up with me and things. Okay. A little louder. Every year we get a chance to learn more about the county and county government, state government, different occupations, and just what leadership is. So thank y'all for having us here tonight. We appreciate it. I tell them every year when we come, this is something that the majority of the adults in this county have never done, is attend a county commission meeting, so they'll have a better understanding. Could we get a picture quick?
Yes. You can have them come up here and we'll stand up here.
Thank you. UPCA.
Katrina, we appreciate everything that you do with that program, and we appreciate the students being here, and we look forward to working with them now and in the future. Before we move forward, I do want to, I did not see Ms. Lisa Finley sitting here when I introduced the elected officials. She's on our Elmore County Board of Education School Board, so we're delighted to have her here as well. We'll proceed now with our regular business, a review of the minutes of the November 26, 2018 Commission meeting. Are there any comments or questions regarding that review? All right, we'll proceed to review the memorandum of warrants for the period of November 17, 2018 through December 3rd, 2018.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, for the period stated, the memorandum of warrants was $1,531,775.12.
Gentlemen, I'd just like to introduce myself, and I probably can't get it across how excited I am to be in this position. I'm ready to go. I was raised in Elmore County. I went to Stanhope. I was wondering for a while, it's just all Wetumpka, but my daughters went to Stanhope. They graduated Stanhope, so I know Elmore County. I've been here. We're working on some projects now, and I'm excited about that. But I think we're just right on the edge of doing some great things in economic development in Elmore County, and I look forward to this opportunity, and I'm honored to be in this position.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate it. We'll now invite Isaac Stubbs to come up to the podium and introduce an Eagle Scout project proposal.
Thank you.
While he's handing that out, we are related, in case you were wondering. and he is an alumnus of the Leadership Elmore County program from last year.
That's right. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Isaac Stubbs, and I'm here to propose an Eagle Scout project in the Bicentennial Park by the courthouse. I'm currently a life rank in Troop 605, and I'm also a junior at Wetumpka High School. An Eagle Scout project is all about contributing to the community, and I believe that the cultivation of the Bicentennial Park is an excellent opportunity for me to do so. I've handed you all a visual aid that displays what I plan on adding to the park. I'm still figuring out Photoshop, so sorry if it doesn't look super good. The 2 benches you see will be ordered. They'll be 6-foot Thomas steel benches with a lifetime warranty, and they're just alike to the ones that are outside of the Elmore County Museum and the rest of the Main Street Wetumpka downtown streetscape. Also, the trees are eastern redbuds, which were one of the 3 trees suggested by the urban forestry coordinator for Main Street Wetumpka streetscape project. The trees are very low maintenance. The roots grow down instead of out, and they're tall enough, just enough to provide shade for the different benches. I hope that with this project I can continue the growth of the county and embody the Eagle Scout spirit. Are there any questions?
Thank you. We appreciate the presentation and the visual aid here. Hopefully we can have everyone else out here have an opportunity to see that as well. With respect to this project, how do you plan to, or how many people do you anticipate working with you on this project?
I'm looking at 10 to 15 right now, and those would be from like a church organization or local groups.
Isaac, how long would it take you to do the project, and when would you want it to start?
Well, it's anticipated that this would be a spring 2019 thing, just because the benches take a while to order and everything to get ready. But the actual execution of the project would be Saturday morning and afternoon, I believe. It wouldn't take that long.
What about funding for the project?
Well, it's pretty expensive, because we're looking at about $3,500 for the benches and the red buds, but I have plenty of sources I can reach out to, and
I think that will be you, Chairman.
Yeah. So you will be doing fundraising, correct?
Yes, I'll be the face of the fundraising.
Okay. Good. Are there any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a question. I just have a comment. Isaac, you could have done a project anywhere in Elmore County, and I very much appreciate it, as I know all the commissioners do. You're choosing to do this project right here, and this is just another example of your exemplary character that you demonstrate all the time. Good raising.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daughtry.
Any other?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
All right, we will proceed now, discuss ad valorem school tax election for the Elmore County Board of Education and Tallahassee City Board of Education. With regards to this, just as a brief update, I think this is an excellent opportunity for the elections officials in our county, the Elmore County School Board and the Tallahassee City Board of Education and the County Commission to work together to fulfill the objectives and goals of the Elmore County Board of Education. This is a process that I anticipate everyone will be working together on in the coming weeks as we approach the 2019 calendar year and look for dates and times in which this will be an executable project. I am going to invite Superintendent Richard Dennis to come up here to the podium. He's got a couple remarks regarding the intention of this project, and we'll have him come up now.
Thank you, Mr. Stubbs. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight and to discuss, engage and open the conversation about the 10 meals mandated for education in the state of Alabama. And on behalf of Elmore County Board of Education, and I'll speak also for Tallahassee City, they're not here this evening, but they will be going through the similar process because their taxes are coming up for renewal. and we would look to try to achieve that at the same time. I think 91 was the last time that we went through this as a group, and so we would look to achieve that. We do want to emphasize our effort to come to you. I am new and going in relatively new with 2 years. And in outlining plans for Elmore County Board of Education, the opportunity we see is with our county commission. We have the same constituents. I think a lot of our interests are the same, and we would hope that we could sit down and share our plans and work together to achieve those goals for the residents here in Elmore County. So I know that we're gonna work. They'll be involved in this process. Petitions that we'll have to bring before you. There'll be resolutions from each board that we have to bring before you. And at that time, Judge Thornton would be the one to, I guess, process that, make sure, he's been in the past keeping, in my 2-year tenure, keeping me in line with Elmore County Board of Education business. Now I guess he'll be doing it at another level. And certainly appreciate that opportunity to work with him as we go about pursuing it. But looking for a day, we have an opportunity to sit down so we can discuss the parameters of this particular goal.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, we appreciate you, and we appreciate your school board in working on that, and we look forward to future conversations.
Thank you very much, and I look
Thank
forward
you.
to the meeting.
All right, we'll proceed now. Consider posting of notice that the revised personnel policies and procedures of Elmore County, Alabama will be considered for adoption at the regularly scheduled meeting on January 14, 2019. This is a project that we've been working on for over a year now. Commissioner Reeves has led the charge in trying to update that personnel and policies and procedures manual along with other elected officials. And we'll get our legal counsel, Jeff Courtney. Are we in a position now where we can post this and meet the requirements?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we are in really the home stretch on this now, and we are in a position to meet this schedule. The substantive information is in. It's really just placing everything how we want it actually in the manual, so we're in very good shape on this.
All right, thank you. Any other comments or questions on that? Thank you. All right, we'll proceed now. Discuss authorizing chairman and CEOO to execute necessary documents to allow for the improvements to the entire length of Middle Road through the exchange of in-kind services by the county for inclusion of the county's portion of Middle Road to be resurfaced under the Town of Eclectic's CDBG awarded grant. Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, over the last several months, this item was brought to you to put the county in a position to help the Town of Eclectic on some services to repair the road and then turn the paving of the road over to the resurfacing of the road over to a contractor. After several discussions with the DECA, there's some limitations on how that can be handled, and we've come up with a solution we believe that will not only help the town but put the county in a position to improve part of the road that the Madex trucks frequent very often. So what we're asking tonight is just to put the chairman and myself in a position to, once all the final discussions are made where the agreements can be altered, to expand the scope to handle the county's portion and the town's, to allow us to be able to execute that and move on with the project. In essence, we're going to propose to do some work on the town's portion in exchange for the actual contracted work to resurface the county's portion. So it's not a straight up 100% swap, but it is as close as we can get, and I think the town of Eclectic appreciates the work that's been done by the commission to try to get this project to fruition. Just to refresh your memory, it was a $200,000 CDBG grant that required a $50,000 match. So we're working in those parameters. All told, this project will probably be about a little over $400,000 project when everything is said and done to get the improvements. So a lot of leveraging going on to get the work done out there.
Thank you. Any comments or questions there?
Mr. Byer, this is the same project that we've been discussing for A while now, right?
Yes, sir.
Same project.
I know we've been in discussions since before y'all came in office about this stretch of road, so, over 2 years.
Thank you.
All right, we'll proceed. Discuss scheduling a public hearing for a 050 retail beer off-premises only and a 070 retail table wine off-premises only liquor license application for Quick Sack 2 by Wallsboro, Inc., 10860 U.S. Highway 231, Wetumpka, Alabama 36092. Any comments or questions there? We'll proceed with scheduling that public hearing. The next item is discuss amending board appointment procedures. For those of you who are here with us, the Elmore County Commission has the opportunity and privilege to appoint many people to various boards throughout the county. At times this can be challenging because all of the boards have different functions, they have different timelines, different term lengths, different expectations of their board members, different numbers of members of boards, etc. And for us to manage all of that, we attempt to manage the logistics of it, but we also are looking for a better way to manage how we make those decisions. And in order to do that, we have developed an Elmore County Commission board appointment candidate request. And this form, it would be something that would be shared with anyone who either expressed interest in being appointed to a particular position or anyone who is recommended by the board to be reappointed to that particular position for another term of service. And by having all of those candidates fill out this form, which is very simple, would take somebody 5 or 10 minutes to complete, it will give all the commissioners an opportunity to be fully educated on who the individuals are, what are their skills, what do they bring to the table that potentially would benefit that particular board. And so our hope is that we as commissioners would be more informed on the individuals and their capacities as we make those decisions. And you'll see on our agenda later we have several appointments coming up, and we have numerous potential candidates, and we've got to be able to make the decisions, and this is a reasonable way to gather that information. Are there any comments or questions from my fellow commissioners on this?
Chairman, I'd just like to add, I believe this is this type of form is going to be very useful in us having the knowledge we need to appoint people to certain boards. Some of these boards we report to, they handle a great deal of money. They serve a very vital function in our county. We can sit here and do things, but a lot of these boards, it takes them to be successful in order for us to be successful. I know at times we get letters from either the executive director of certain organizations that we appoint to, or either the board themselves, and we have no, unless we pick the phone up and call them, the candidate, which is what we normally do, we've had no indication from the candidate that they're interested. In fact, I can recall an appointment about 6 or 8 months ago we made where we actually received a letter from the board making the recommendation, and we called the candidate to discuss them, and they knew nothing about it. They were not even interested. I think this form will give us some more information so we can make a more informed appointment. That's all I have, Chairman.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, we'll proceed to discuss 3 appointments to the Healthcare Authority Board, appointment due January 14, 2019. The candidates listed are Daniel Thompson, Earl Reiser, Hertazine Crenshaw, Linda Lewis, Jason Britt, Frank Bertarelli, Desiree Lewis. These individuals either independently expressed interest in this position or were recommended by the existing Healthcare Authority Board, some of which would be reappointments. Are there any comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, is there a deadline for the candidates to apply for those appointments?
There is not a deadline. Obviously, this is staying within our 30-day requirement for these to be posted and people to be aware. We are within that guideline. However, we do not have another commission meeting in December due to the holidays, so our next commission meeting will be January 14th. But if any individual were interested in being considered, they could pending the approval of our application form, if we approve that later on, we would give any individual an opportunity to fill one of those out, and they can be considered at the time at our January 14 meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments or questions? All right, we'll proceed. Consider accepting resignation of Philip Gidieri from the Horseshoe Bend Regional Library Board. Any comments or questions there? All right, we'll proceed. Discuss appointment to the Horseshoe Bend Regional Library Board. Appointment due January 14, 2019. Candidate listed is Diana French. And this particular individual was submitted by the existing Horseshoe Bend Library Board and other citizens.
Mr. Chairman, I think we had another name come in today.
Okay.
Deborah Holt asked to be added to that as well.
Okay.
Y'all should have that. If it's not in your folder, it should be in your box.
Okay. Thank you. We will make sure that that is added and point of consideration between now and our January 14 meeting. Thank you. All right, we will proceed. Consider authorizing the chairman to execute fiscal year 2018 Homeland Security Cooperative Grant Agreements and amend budget to handle revenues and expenses. Mr. Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in your packet, you will have the agreements for 4 of our first responders, the Emerald Mountain Fire Department, Holtville Slap Out Volunteer Fire Department, the Seaman Volunteer Fire Department, and the City of Tallahassee Police Department. All total, it's about $127,230 in equipment grants. This is strictly a pass-through through our budget, and we're asking for the chairman to be able to authorize to execute them, and then for the necessary budget amendments to run them through the EMA budget.
Thank you. All right, we'll proceed. Consider award bid inquiry number 2019-13, motor grader blades to the lowest responsible bidder.
Yes, sir. This item has been bid the last couple of years on our regional bid. They decided not to with the fluctuation in steel prices, so we had to send our own bids out for that. Tractor and Equipment was the lowest responsible bidder, and we're asking that you award that so we can continue to make those purchases for our graders.
Thank you. With permission of my fellow commissioners, we received this evening a resignation letter from the Elmore County Emergency Medical Services Board, EMS Board, for Mr. Greg Jones, who has served in a capacity on that board, currently leading the charge there, and has been involved for decades on that board, and we sincerely appreciate his contributions and his willingness to put forth maximum effort to help us as we made major transitions and changes in that in how that worked over the last 10 or 15 years, and Greg was instrumental in that, so we express our appreciation to him. With permission from my fellow commissioners, I'd like to submit that we accept that resignation in our meeting tonight, and then we would, if there are any names to consider, if anyone has any names to consider at this time, we could share those. Any comments?
Chairman, I'd just like to tell Mr. Jones how much I appreciate your service to the county. I've served on that board since, I guess, as it was formed, sitting here thinking about it. You've served chairman, and I appreciate your many hours that you've given toward making sure that our citizens have proper and very prompt medical services when they call. With that being said, Chairman, I would like to offer the name of Eric Jones to be considered for a replacement on this board.
All right, thank you. We'll proceed with our 30-day requirement as expected. Eric Jones, many of you are familiar with that name, served as our EMA director for Elmore County for many, many years, and also served on this board for many, many years in his capacity as EMA director. Thank you. We'll proceed now with our consent docket. Consider approving job description for Director of Safety, Insurance, and Human Resources.
Mr. Chairman, just one comment. I just wanted to thank Commissioner Reeves for working on this. We've been talking about this for almost a year now in terms of bringing this position on board. I think this is going to have a huge impact on the county's safety protocols, and he played an integral part in helping getting this job description up and running, and I know he's been an advocate for it for a while, and I just think it's going to pay huge dividends for the county.
great. Thank you. All right, we'll proceed now with personnel notifications. Notification of hire, reclassification of Courtney Clements, business personal property appraiser 2 to Director of Safety, Insurance, and Human Resources effective 12/31/18. Notification of reinstatement of Stephen Woodard, building maintenance tech effective 12/10/2018. Notification of resignation of Monica Rose, dispatcher effective 11/30/2018. Notification of retirement of Alma Walker Sims, tag clerk effective 12/31/18. Notification of hire of Ashley Cowart, dispatcher tier 1, replace M. Rose effective 12/17/2018. Any reports to the commission, Mr. Byer?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, just a few items. We're in the final process of getting the financials ready to be published in the local paper. We anticipate having that to you in the next day or so to where you can look over that before it gets put into next week's paper. We are also going to have a discussion with our department heads over the next week about talking about the upgraded personnel processes that we are putting in place, and also a discussion about bid documentation, something that was brought up to us with our meeting with the examiners. I had the pleasure of being able to represent not only Elmore County but the state and our National Association of County Engineers at the NACO Board of Directors meeting at the end of last week. Infrastructure, regulatory reform, broadband, connecting the unconnected, and waters of the U.S. were dominant topics there. Sounds kind of like a broken record when you talk about things that we're dealing with here. So I think we've got a pretty good finger on the pulse of what's going on affecting county government. Also attended the legislative conference for the state. I think a couple of y'all may give some updates on that, so I won't steal anybody's thunder in terms of the main push for this coming year. You have a copy of the 2019 countywide cleanup dates in front of you. Of special note, you'll see April 6, 2019 being our highlighted as our Operation Spring Clean, our second annual effort this coming year. You also have some pictures of some security upgrades that were made to the circuit clerk's office over the last couple weeks to try to put those employees not only in the circuit clerk's office but also in the building in general in a much better position in terms of dealing with the public and some of the clientele that comes in there from time to time that can be challenging for them to deal with. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. That was something that was included in the budget, and we've been talking about with the sheriff and judges for the better part of last year to implement and get in place for them. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of a report. Do you have any questions or comments for me?
Thank you. We appreciate your efforts. We'll proceed now with reports from the Commission. We'll begin with Commissioner Holt.
I'd like to say, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate everybody being here tonight. We got the probate judge-elect, we got the superintendent of education, got the sheriff, we got Katrina. So we appreciate everything that y'all do, because all of us have to work together as a team to get Elmore County where it needs to be, and we appreciate the efforts that y'all put forward, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Commissioner Daughtry.
I appreciate everybody coming, Mr. Chairman, and I'm certainly humbled regarding the recognition tonight from the Sheriff's Department for volunteer work. I've said it numerous times before, and I stand by it. I think we have the best sheriff and the best Sheriff's Department in the state of Alabama, and I'll continue to believe that. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer.
Thank you, Chairman. Katrina, I would just like to tell you how much I appreciate what you do, not only just for our students here, but throughout the entire county, and especially with these students we have here tonight. I appreciate you giving them the opportunity to develop their skills. I can tell you when I was that age, which seems like so long ago now, I participated in similar activities, and if someone told me when I was a junior or senior in high school that I would be a county commissioner one day, and I see my good friend back there grinning, he thinks the same thing, I wouldn't believe you. But I just encourage you guys to stay true to your desires and develop your leadership ability, and I just appreciate y'all being here tonight. I also would like to report I participated in the ACCA Legislative Conference this past week. I can tell you that overwhelmingly the topic of conversation was the horrible condition that our infrastructure is statewide. There was a report that was given to us that was the result of data that was collected from all the 67 county engineers across the state, and it wasn't very positive. Primarily, it said the majority of our bridges are 50 years plus old in the state. Not much opportunity there or vision or funding to do a lot of replacement. Not a lot of opportunity to keep up with our resurfacing roads like we should in order to protect our largest investment that taxpayers have in each county, which is our roads and bridges. It's very interesting. I anticipate this being a topic that we'll all hear a lot more about as we approach the session, which will start in March. Chairman, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Reeves?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say I appreciate everyone being here. I see a lot of people that I worked with before. Superintendent Ricky Dennis, I appreciate you, the sheriff, all y'all being booked. Ms. Mitchell, I appreciate you bringing the young people here to see how the county government works. And that's pretty. And then one of the things that a lot deals to my heart is that, you know, we have employees and we want to reward them for the good things that they do. And I'm always going to be behind that. And the ones that don't want to do $1 worth of work, then we won't pay them the $1. So, but we going to continue, and I got a commissioner here that's working with me on the employees and bringing them forward. And I appreciate working with each and every one of them. So if anything that I can do to help anyone, just give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate my fellow commissioners and their comments. I, too, appreciate all of you being here tonight. A couple of things that are occurring in my district I'd like to make sure everyone's aware. It started today and going on for the next 2 days. The Wetumpka Elementary School is installing a new playground. Many of you may have seen the work going on there. They worked diligently to raise the funds earlier this year, and were successful in doing that, and now there are hundreds of really excited children looking forward to a new playground. So I had the opportunity to go by and visit a few of the people working. I wasn't able to do that today, but I hope to get out there tomorrow or Wednesday. But I did see the chairman of the school board, Michael Morgan, was out there. I didn't know he wore boots, but I guess he did today. So it was for show. I'll tell him you said that. So that was exciting, and I look forward to that project being completed. In addition to that, in the city of Wetumpka and downtown, the Progressive Nativity is this Friday evening, and on Saturday is the Christmas on the Coosa. It was delayed last Saturday due to the weather, so we're excited that we have that coming up this weekend. And I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and we'll now move to... Oh, no. Thank you. All right, we'll move to Kimberly with the important calendar dates.
This Thursday, December 13th, is the Employee Christmas Luncheon at 11:30 at the courthouse. Monday, December 24th, and Tuesday, December 25th, the courthouse will be closed in observance of Christmas. Monday, December 31st, 2018, and Tuesday, January 1st, 2019, the courthouse will be closed in observance of New Year's, and our next meeting is Monday, January 14th at 5 o'clock with the business meeting following.
Well, we'd like to welcome everybody to our Elmore County Commission business meeting dated Monday, December 10, 2018. We'll call this meeting to order. We will begin with an invocation offered by Commissioner Reeves, following which Commissioner Daughtry will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us bow here. Lord God, we come thanking you for all you do, all you've done, all you will do for us. Lord, we asking that you bless the one that's in charge of our nation. We ask that you bless our state and our county and all the elected officials. Lord, create in us a right spirit and give us a clean heart so we can do the things that's pleasing in their sight. And Lord, we ask in all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Let's stand for the pledge. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call roll.
Commissioner Holt?
Here.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Here.
Chairman Stubbs?
Here.
Commissioner Mercer?
Here.
Commissioner Reeves?
Here. All right, we'll proceed with our regular business. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the November 26, 2018 commission meeting?
Motion approved.
Second. Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of November 17, 2018 through December 3, 2018?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. We'll proceed with new business. Is there a motion to approve Eagle Scout project proposal for Bicentennial Park?
Motion
approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Proceeding, is there a motion to approve posting of notice that the revised personnel policies and procedures of Elmore County, Alabama will be considered for adoption at the regularly scheduled meeting on January 14, 2019?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve authorizing chairman and CEOO to execute necessary documents to allow for the improvement to the entire length of Middle Road through the exchange of in-kind services by the county for inclusion of the county's portion of Middle Road to be resurfaced under the Town of Eclectic's CDBG awarded grant?
Motion approved.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve scheduling a public hearing for a 050 retail beer off-premises only and a 070 retail table wine off-premises only liquor license application for Quick Sack 2 by Wallsboro, Inc., 10860 U.S. Highway 231, Wetumpka, Alabama 36092, on January 14, 2019?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve amending board appointment procedures to include a candidate request form?
Motion to approve.
Second. Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve accepting resignation of Philip Giudieri from the Horseshoe Bend Regional Library Board?
Motion approved.
Second. Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve authorizing the chairman to execute fiscal year 2018 Homeland Security Cooperative Grant Agreements and amend budget to handle revenue and expenses?
Motion to approve.
Second. Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve awarding bid inquiry number 2019-13 motor grader blades to the lowest responsible bidder, Tractor Equipment Company, Inc.?
Motion approved.
Second.
Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve accepting resignation of Greg Jones from the EMS Board?
Motion to approve.
Second. Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the consent docket as presented?
I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes. Personnel notifications. Notification of hire, reclassification of Courtney Clements, business personal property appraiser 2 to the Director of Safety, Insurance, and Human Resources effective 12/31/18. Notification of reinstatement of Stephen Woodard, building maintenance tech effective 12/10/2018. Notification of resignation of Monica Rose, dispatcher effective 11/30/2018. Notification of retirement of Alma Walker Sims, tag clerk effective 12/31/2018. Notification of hire of Ashley Cowart, Dispatcher Tier 1, replace M. Rose, effective 12/17/2018. Are there any additional reports?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Ms. Kim?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Yes.
Adjourned.